Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net on Friday the 9th of September. Thanks again for watching. We really are struggling at the moment with trying to get a handle on what happens next week and the weeks beyond. As I've said before, the reason really is the tropics. They're causing huge problems for modelling right now, and in a way we're sort of sitting back here and just looking at analogues and what has gone on in the past to try and grab some hint, some indication as to what might happen in the future. The atmosphere at the moment really is almost like it's on a knife edge, walking down that knife edge, and could go one way or the other. And each day the models are updating, coming up with different stories. Now, this is the tropics at the moment. A couple of disturbances on there which are looking at developing. This one particularly looks like it could develop and come northwestwards like so. You see the jet stream going over the top here, headed towards UK shores, and really what it needs is for these systems to get into the jet stream in order for us to get one of these across, and then that's when we could see a dramatic change in conditions, taking us into autumn weather. That's the prediction for each of those two systems for the next 5 days. See what I mean about this one coming up here into the Atlantic? This one just headed its way towards the Florida coast. It's this one really that has the potential, if it can survive as it gets north, to get into the jet, but there is a pool of cold water out here, and once it gets into here it kind of just dies. So that's what's going on. That's why these systems can't get into the jet right now, and they're having a knock-on effect to the forecast, because with them being so close to getting to the jet, some runs have got them coming in, others got them staying out, and whether they're in or out has a massive impact on the forecast. Now, this is the mean of the 7 to 10 day 500 millibar flow. We've got the ECMWF on the left, we've got the GFS on the right, and these go from next Friday through until Sunday the 18th. And notice ECMWF has got the trough here down through the UK. It's trying to hint at pretty mixed conditions through the UK by then. But the GFS goes far more strongly with the idea of a ridge building out towards the east. And between the two of them, really, it's so difficult to try and pin down exactly where this is going to end up, because there are such differences between the two. Let me show you what the ECM WF operation is coming up with this morning. These are the 500 millibar charts for the ECMWF. You get these from the WeatherWeb Pro Models section on the site. It's available to you as a WeatherWeb Premium member. And these are the charts going in 24-hour steps. This is how we are today. We've got the jet stream through here. We've got a ridge into here. Now, just watch how things develop as we go forward in 24-hour steps. There we are on Saturday. Jet across the UK headed into Sunday. Monday we see this build, this ridge build here, as warm air is pumping northwards. It's building this ridge out here. This is why we're going into such warm conditions during next week. Then through Wednesday, the ridge is off towards the east. We get this cut-off feature getting in across northern parts of Iberia. And then headed into the back end of the week onto Thursday, that cut-off still down over Iberia. Look, the ridge remains off towards the east, and all this energy out in the Atlantic trying to get its way westwards, trying to break the ridge, but this warm air is preventing it from doing so particularly quickly. Although by Friday of next week, trough gets eastwards, and then eventually by the weekend, we see that trough feature off towards the east, which is effectively what we saw on here, because this was a 7 to 10 day, remember. So this takes us through the end of next week and into next weekend. And then a ridge, again, just building across the south, the jet getting in across northern parts of Scotland, bringing the unsettled conditions here, trying to make it more settled towards the south. But the ECMWF 46 days are building in a ridge again, getting in this southwesterly flow, building the heights in here, getting the ridge in once more for the following week, and then try to take us into higher pressure through the rest of September. But those forecasts flipping backwards and forwards all the time. That's the pressure chart, which shows the rising pressure next week at Manchester. You see we kind of hold steady through the weekend into the first part of the week, and then that happens at the end of the week as pressure builds. And temperatures do this. This is the 850 prediction for the next 10 days for Manchester. Just look at these peaks here. by Wednesday we're getting up to 15, 16s at 850, which gives us sort of 25s, 26s at the ground level. That could be 30, 31s across southeast England if all stayed the same. I would say very, very low confidence on this, as I say, because of the tropics and the way the tropics are behaving. So we've got to treat it with a degree, a modicum of caution, but still doesn't stop that idea really of next week becoming potentially warm and dry across many areas once again. What about going forward? Well, this is what the MJO looks like from the CFS right now. It gets us through phase 8, then gets us into phase 1, and a very weak phase 2 by the time we're getting towards the end of September. Now, contrast that, where, yeah, admittedly, we're weekly in phase 8 and weekly in phase 1, but contrast that with the ECMWF prediction from the 6th of September through to the 7th of October. And you see it's all focused around here. It's the green line that we're looking at here. All focused within a very weak MJO. And it goes to show that if you've got a weak MJO, we've got a tropics that doesn't really know which way it wants to go. All of this is leading into the real problems that the numerical models are having. And that's why almost the analogues are proving better at the moment in giving us some guide as to where this might go. Now, the CFS, as I said, was going through phase 8, coming into phase 1. Gets through phase 8 now, gets into phase 1 middle part of next week and lasts through until the 23rd or the 24th. Now, typically, that's how phase 1 looks. So phase 1 generally brings us a ridge of high pressure across the south of the UK, trough up towards the north, and tends to lead us into more mixed conditions. And really, that's not a bad portrayal of where next week is likely to be. After that, well, phase 8 is really unsettled. That's the phase 8 picture. Lower than average heights, very unsettled conditions across the country. And this would be for that middle stage of September. Now, this ties in far better, or rather the middle to latter stage of September. This ties in far better with our longer range forecast for September. Way better than the ECMWF 46, but I have to say the ECMWF 46 has not been bad in highlighting the idea that we could be into high pressure through September. So we've got two completely conflicting scenarios right now as to how September may go. I have to admit, I still think ECMWF is overdoing the high pressure. I think this may have overdone lower pressure, but I think ECMWF certainly is overplaying it at the moment. So I'm still going to lean into the more unsettled conditions coming in. I think next week, yes, we could find a drier south, and yes, the idea of it becoming very warm for some is there. But I think we shouldn't ignore the fact that actually next week, despite the idea of very warm weather, I think there could be thunderstorms around, and I think we're still in for a mixed week, and I still think we could go more unsettled into the week after. Tricky times. And what I want to do here at WeatherWave is to explain to you why things are doing what they're doing. So I certainly don't want to get into the trap of giving you a forecast and saying that's the way it's going to be. What I've been trying to do is to give you both sides of the coin, really, and show you, there's this possibility, there's that possibility, and try and give you indications as to where it might go. So hopefully you appreciate and you don't mind me kind of stepping back a little bit and saying, do you know what? Confidence is so low on this at the moment, I just can't trust the forecast. I think what we can say is it probably looks like it will be warm to very warm next week, and certainly the warm weather hinted at continuing. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that for now. Of course, the 2-week planner is online, where we do try and give you a more definite prediction as to how things might develop. You can go and watch that on the site as well. And of course, Gary has the detail in the fast forecast for you, which will give you the info for the next 2 to 5 days. But I'm going to leave you with that for now. Whatever you're doing, thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining, and bye for now.